Back again to the Ahuzagri Home channel. Now I will share my experience in tilapia cultivation activities, for this cultivation activity right at the location of Dukuhan Village, Gresik District, East Java Province, Indonesia, Southeast Asia. This is an activity I do in my spare time when I don't have anything to do. This activity is actually a hobby, but I can also make money. By enjoying this hobby activity, it's as if I don't feel tired or lazy when doing this activity. Tilapia cultivation is an activity that aims to supply the protein needs of the community. Tilapia cultivation has several ways of caring for or raising these fish, based on location. Tilapia cultivation in places includes ponds, concrete ponds and tarpaulin ponds. Each cultivation site has a different pattern for the maintenance process. Tilapia cultivation in earthen ponds has many advantages compared to other types of tilapia cultivation ponds. One of the advantages is the availability of natural feed, so farmers can reduce the cost of tilapia feed. How to cultivate tilapia in earthen ponds is not as difficult as you might imagine. In fact, novice farmers are advised to start cultivating tilapia using earthen ponds. The Indonesian people's consumption level of tilapia fish is quite high, in line with the domestic fish consumption level, which is at more than 5% per year. Therefore, domestic demand for tilapia always increases every year. Indeed, cultivating tilapia is a process that is easy and difficult, especially cultivating tilapia in small earthen ponds. There are 4 types of tilapia cultivation ponds that can be used. Each type of pool has its own advantages. However, you need to consider the number of seeds to be stocked and the number of seeds to be cultivated so that the pond is not too wide or too narrow. The following is a brief discussion of each type of pool. The first is the biofloc pond. Biofloc ponds are a type of tilapia cultivation pond that has an ecosystem and environment that resembles the natural habitat of tilapia, so that tilapia adapt more easily to the pond and accelerate the growth of tilapia seedlings. However, cultivators need to control the quality of their water at all times. This is where the drawback lies, because cultivators will use several pieces of equipment that must be kept on to maintain the quality of the cultivation pond water. The second is the concrete pool. The advantage of a concrete pond as a cultivation pond is the durability of the pond, which can be used for a long period of time. Apart from that, concrete ponds are also relatively free from pests and viruses, so they can reduce the number of viral infections and diseases in tilapia. Concrete ponds have better drainage than other types of cultivation ponds. However, making a concrete pool requires quite a lot of money. Apart from that, a pool that has been completed will be difficult to change or renovate because the material from which it is made is so sturdy. Plus, tilapia stress levels tend to be higher due to the unnatural pond environment. The third is the tarpaulin pool. The advantage of a tarpaulin pool is that this type of pool is easy to make and the cost of making a pool is cheap compared to other types of pools. This type of pond is also easy to dismantle and assemble, making it easier for you when you want to move the cultivation pond. Even though they are easy to move, the potential for leaks in tarpaulin ponds is actually higher, so the water potential is reduced and the threat of death to the tilapia is greater. Even if you use a sturdy pool frame, the potential for the tarpaulin pool to collapse remains high. The fourth is the land pool. The last type of cultivation pond is an earthen pond. This type of pool requires a relatively larger area. However, the cost of building a pond is not too expensive, and earthen ponds can also increase tilapia fish growth to a more optimal level. However, you need to be careful in deciding the area of land where to build an earthen pool. Find out the quality of the land, whether it is appropriate to use it as an earthen pool. This is important because certain types of soil are not strong enough to hold pool water, so the water will slowly recede. Apart from that, pests are also susceptible to entering the pond through the gaps in the soil, thereby disrupting the growth of tilapia seedlings. There are advantages and disadvantages to having a concrete pool that make it popular. However, the advantages and disadvantages of cultivating fish using tarpaulin ponds also need to be taken into consideration for us to choose the right type of container. In fact, the container also determines the seeds. The role of containers here is very important to support cultivation technology. The container used must be able to support the continuity of cultivation activities and be in accordance with the level of seed stocking density. The function of the container itself is closely related to changes in the quality of the cultivation media. Concrete ponds, or what are usually called semi-permanent ponds, are highly recommended for those of you who want to cultivate fish and have quite a lot of capital. The following are the advantages of concrete pools. Even concrete pools have other advantages that other pool media don't have. For example, semi-permanent pools have construction that tends to be safer and more durable, and pools have minimal mud and are relatively easy to maintain. The materials for constructing a concrete pool consist of a mixture of cement, sand, and bricks. With these materials, you no longer need to doubt the sturdiness and strength of the concrete pool to withstand water discharge later. During the fish keeping period, care is quite easy to implement. You only need to do a sweep to remove fish waste at the bottom of the pond. Disadvantages of using concrete ponds as a medium for cultivating tilapia. Even though it has many advantages that have been mentioned previously, nothing is perfect in this world. Because everything definitely has disadvantages behind the many advantages that are highlighted. The drawback may be seen in the costs you will incur later, to buy construction materials and pool maintenance costs, and if damage occurs it tends to be difficult to overcome and requires quite a lot of money. It will even require additional costs if you don't use private land or rent someone else's land. So this way you can calculate approximately how much money you will spend to make a concrete pool, so it is very important to do calculations from the start and adjust it to the budget you have now. And if the quality of the pool is not very good from the start, there is a risk of leaks or cracks on the edge of the pool, which of course is very dangerous. And the costs to cover the damage are quite expensive. Even if the pool can still be repaired, what if the pool damage continues to occur? Instead of making a profit, it's a loss, right? These are some of the advantages and risks that you need to take into account when cultivating fish in a concrete pond. The cost is quite expensive and is supported by long-term use. Of course it is worth it, but if the construction process is careless, it can have a bad impact in the future. Thank you for watching the explanation about tilapia cultivation, especially on the media of cultivating tilapia in concrete ponds with various advantages and disadvantages. Of course the main key is enthusiasm. Do it with cultivation discipline. Stay optimistic. Don't give up easily. Do it sincerely. One day you will reap extraordinary results. Don't forget to support this channel by pressing the subscribe button. See you in the next video.